Well, I was just about to say, let's go through the starting grid as one has gone completely exit stage left on the start-finish rate. Liam Bastero, another cut, was also struggling with dramas to get started, but here is the starting grid for the Minimax final. Victor Reutz starts from pole position ahead of Jodrent with Vic van Kampenhout and Lucas Todder rounding out the top two rows. James van der Poel and Kimmy May, row 3. Duncan Hudson and Gage Moyes, row 4. Vince van der Hallen and Liam Hauger round at the top 10. Richard Joppen, AJ Berggraaf, Mika Vonk, Tristan Shays, Jesse Andringa, Jeff Verbeek, Milano Shiphorst, Lawrence van Vlaanderen, Jarakiewicz Bosch, and Tim Steger ran out the top 20. Lena Greif, Thijs Den Dekker, Edin Arad, Dejan Habits, Olivier Mazurkovic, Liam Bastero, Jenthe Moonen, Tiger Holthausen and Jack Dupre round out the 29-strong grid. They go on to their formation lap. The 170 of Van Vlaanderen got a 3-second time penalty for 2 wheels out of the tram lines. Jenthe Moonen got a mechanical black flag for the rear bumper. Also, the 194 of Richard Joppen got a 1-place penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, unsportsmanlike driving. 6 drivers got a 5-second front fairing penalty. And also, Vince van der Hallen actually got a 10-second post-race penalty by failing to follow the instructions of the officials. There is a set procedure that if you are unable to get out, this is my understanding, that if you manage to get the kart fired up, but you haven't made it onto the sighting and the sighting lap, but you get out before the formation, you normally will start from you'll either be at the back of the grid, or you'll be released when the start is underway. So we are under starters orders for the Minimax and Minimax Rookie final. 13 minutes plus an additional lap. We'll see who is the one that's going to be top of the podium. Liam Bastero not taking part. Kart by the side on the start-finish straight. Revs rise. Lights are on. Lights are not going out. It's a full start for the final. They are going around again. Oh, and we've got another one off. Dejan Habits off at the other side of the start-finish straight. So not going too well, I'm afraid, for 2 respective drivers. That drops us down to 29 competitors. Well, it looks like, hang on a second, the 151 is back out on the circuit. Liam Bastero is out on the track and has just gone through turn 4. And the same with Dejan Habits, who's just now going through into turn 3. For those wondering there, you can see it on your picture-in-picture on your screens. So the revs rise, lights are on. Are we going lights out this time? No, we're not. So the clock continues to count down. As I said earlier on in the broadcast today, folks, that once you get a second full start, the red flag now is being brandished. So the drivers will be halted on the circuit on the approach into turn 10. So this now is a race against the clock. So for those that are looking, you know, feel that they've got pace underneath them in the kart, the time is now ticking. So the drivers go into the tram lines for the third attempt at a race start, and this time the lights go out. The field makes its way into turns 1 and 2, and we've had a drama, one of which was James van der Poel, Jente Moonen also around at turn 2. So James van der Poel started 5th on the road, and the rear axle went skywards. Jente Moonen, I think, might have gotten a little bit of an assist as well, or may have self-rotated. As we've got quite a few drivers trying to go through turn 8. So leaders now making their way towards the completion of the opening lap, as in the proper official opening lap. But there has been a change at the front end. So who's going to be leading? Well, no surprise here. Vince van der Halen is leading the way. Second is Vic van Kampenhout. Duncan Hudson rounds out the top 3 and is nearly clashing. Oh, he's just caught the rear right side of the bumper on the back of Vic van Kampenhout's kart. And luckily enough that Vic's bumper did not get ripped on that side, because otherwise that would have been a mechanical black flag for the 124. Hudson looking up the inside through turn 7, gets through for second. Victor Reitz and Rickert Joppen round out the top 5, but there Van Kampenhout goes back through again. At turn 8, Victor Reitz now decides to dive bomb up the inside, as does Joppen. Hudson finds himself down into 5th place. Judren, I think, is just behind. Oh, that's off the circuit there for the 194 of Rickert Joppen. It's not a great thing to have happen coming out of turn number 10. Kimi May's on the move as well, and has made up at least another position or 2. Van der Halen leads by nearly a second and a half. Van Kampenhout, Reitz, Joppen, Hudson, May now up to 6th, or back up to where he started the race quite a while ago, as we started the race 4.5 minutes ago when we had the second full start. Hudson looking up the inside of Joppen and gets through. That's the change for 4th. Vic van Kampenhout and Victor Reitz have just over 8 minutes plus 2 laps to catch the driver in front. Vince van der Halen is pulling away initially. And then you look outside of the top 10 from, say, Mazurkiewicz, who's gone all the way from 25th to 11th and is on the verge of breaking into the top 10. Gagemo is currently rounding out the top 10 at the minute. Oh, well, Kimi May's just dropped, as have quite a few other... Well, there's been some drivers tumbling down the order. Others have managed to research their way up a few positions. Tiger Holthausen started down in 28th and is now 16th. there is the battle for fourth place, the 177 of Woodson and the 194 of Joppen. That's the battle for P4 and P5. Victor Reutz, in the meantime, has got past Vic van Kampenhout. So those two round out the top three. Jord Drent might not be in sixth anymore because I think I just saw a flash of Tony Kart colours, and that would have been Lucas Dorder. And Jord Drent is losing another position, this time to Mika Vonk. Or it could be Kees Moyes. Yep, Kees Moyes through on Jord Drent. And Mazurkovic now up 16 positions to 9th as Joppen gets through on Audson and managed to get the move completed coming out of turn number 4. Mika Vonk now drops down to 10th position. Kimmy Mays now outside of the top 10 in 11th. So just under 6 minutes remaining on the timer. Dave Stendecker is the driver in 29th and last position, but with the entire field covered by just over 14.3 seconds. And there are times when I'm seeing, well, Mazurkovic has just got past on Jord Drent, and that is a change for 8th. So the 116 up now 17 positions. Jenthe Moonen from the back end of the order, 27th. And has just made up 14 places to 13th. Now, I'm wondering what's going on at the top of... I'm not too sure. Is there something I've just seen on the top part of the... on the radiator of Vic van Kampenhout's kart? It's nothing caught, so I'm just wondering if there's definitely something billowing from the top part of the radiator. It doesn't look to be... Yeah, there's something definitely... Unless the pipes come loose. There is a pipe that attaches to the top part of the radiator on the engines. Or is it? Yeah, that's definitely... Like literally as soon as Vic lifts off the throttle, whatever it is, whether it's some kind of vapor or fuel, but it isn't slowing Vic van Kampenhout down that much, really. He's on level pace with the two in front and is still keeping with Victor Reutz. So we have 3 minutes and 41 seconds, plus 2 additional laps to go. And Vince van der Hollen's lead is 1.856 seconds. Victor Reutz in P2, Vic van Kampenhout P3, Joppen, Ausden, Moyes, Slaughter, Mazurkovic, Vonk, May. That's your top 10, covered by just over 5.9 seconds. So just under 3 minutes to go, plus those all-important additional 2 laps for the drivers. Van der Hollen is away and clear. His lead was just under 1.9 seconds, but then it's what's going to occur between Victor Reutz and Vic van Kampenhout. What's the difference between them? 0.215 of a second. Van Kampenhout has not let Victor Reutz go out of his sight. That is incredibly, incredibly crucial that Van Kampenhout was the slowest out of the top 3, but was only 2 tenths slower. Yeah, there's definitely some vapour coming off of the top right-hand corner of the engine on the radiator on that Minimax engine. Yeah, I can't see anything, any sort of like plastic debris or anything like that that has been. Yeah, there it is again. It looks more like it's exhaust vapor. Well, it's either exhaust vapor or water vapor. But Van Kampenhout is still closing. Van Kampenhout is within 2 kart lengths of Victor Reutz. Just under 0.2 of a second separating them after 10 laps. We're now on to lap number 11. And that normally, yeah, I'm seeing a bit of a pattern emerge here, whereby when Vic is pressing the pedal through the corners, you see sort of like a little bit of vapor release, and then if it happens more significantly, then it's a whitish vapor, but it's not slowing him down. So we're going to go on to lap 12 very shortly as Vince van der Hollen crosses the line. 37 seconds remaining on the timer, so 3 laps, including this one, to go. Holthausen looks to have possibly parked it as Joppen and Uddsen battling away again. Crisscross between the pair. Uddsen up the inside through at turn number 4 and retakes 4th place from the 194. Mazurkovic in the number 116 now up to 6th place and climbing. That's 19 positions over the last 10 minutes. It's pretty impressive when you think about it. Maybe if we had, if the drivers did actually have the lights go out on the second start, as long as it was all nice and clean and fair, we could have seen a very, very different story with Mazurkovic in this race. But 2 laps to go. Here is the battle for 4th place, because now Joppen has lost out that position. Keep your eyes on the 2 behind. There's Jent Thimune looking up the inside of Gage Moyes, going through into turn 5. And that's the battle for P7. Moonen looking up the inside, gets through at turn 7 off of the Europolan. Bumps over the curbs, nearly drifts a little bit too wide coming out of turn 10. But the 110 from Belgium holds on to the position. Next time around, we'll get the final lap board of this weekend for these Minimax drivers. So last lap board is out. Vince van der Hollen takes a look over the right shoulder. So he goes on to what is the 14th and final lap of this race. And there is Mazurkovic. Oh, dearie me. Uddsen went over the back bumper of the 116 and nearly paid the price. Went off circuit. Jent Thimune deciding, well, Rickard Joppen, I'll get past you. Thank you very much. That's another position for Jent Thimune. Mazurkovic and Moonen have... Moonen's just taken... That's position 21. Make that possibly 22. That is the case because Uddsen's run wide. So how's this for a pretty solid comeback? Jent Thimune will be very, very happy at the comeback in this race. But Vince van der Hollen wins the Minimax final and celebrates. Victor Reutz and Vic van Kampenhout round out the top 3. Well, would you look at this? 4th and 5th, respectively. Olivier Mazurkovic and Jent Thimune, the pair of you need to take a bow. 21 and 22 places gained over the course of the race. Mazurkovic takes 4th, Moonen takes 5th. Rickert Joppen, Kees Moyes, Duncan Hudson, AJ Berggraaf and Lucas Stoddard ran at the top 10. Mika Vonk in 11th, Kimi May, Jeff Verbeek, Milano Shiphorst, and Tristan Shays ran at the top 15. Jesse Andringa, Dejan Habits, Laurens van Vlaanderen, Lena Grijf and Liam Hauger round out the top 20. Jara Kiewicz-Bosch, Aiden Arad Jodrent, Thijs den Dekker, Liam Besteiro and Jack Depré round out the 26 that finished. And there you see the 106 in the bottom left-hand corner of your screens of James van der Poel's kart. Looks like he's had an incident with Tim Steger in the dying moments of the race. They're both out on the final lap. And Tygo Holdhausen retires lap 9.